Carrying a firearm in Texas is not as easy as people like to think. Now, with permitless carry introduced and signed into law on September of 2021, it complicates things a little bit, not only for the gun owner, but also for private businesses that don't know the law and what signs to post or how to apply their gun policy on their establishments. In this video, I hope to clear things up for both the gun owner and businesses and eliminate any possible headaches that this can cause. Hello, I am Cisco, and today in my channel we are going to discuss about the ever confusing subject of firearm signage that gun owners need to follow and businesses need to learn. So stay tuned till the end of the video so that you can get all details. But before we continue, I would really appreciate if you like this video and use the subscribe and bell icons button to keep in touch with my channel. Let's start by making the distinction that now that permitless carry is in effect, there are regulations or gun signs that are only going to apply to licensed carry holders. Other signs will only apply to those carrying under the permitless carry or no license, and there will be signs that will apply to both, whether you have a license or not. Also, let's face the fact, having a license to carry in Texas has more benefits and will allow you to carry to more places than not having the license. So as you can see, it's not as easy as it looks, because depending on if you have a license to carry or not, then you can or cannot carry into certain places. This is also the area where businesses have still to improve a lot, as most businesses are under the misconception that just because they post a gun buster sign or a no guns allowed in this property, that they are fully covered against all persons that might come into their establishment carrying a gun. This is not the case. Texas has very specific rules coded into the law when it comes to gun signs that need to be followed for a sign to be valid. In other words, you cannot just write on a napkin or a piece of paper or a piece of cardboard or a neon sign that says no guns allowed and think that everyone will be alright. There are also specific locations where these signs need to be displayed. So let's look at those. Number 1, all signs must include a specific text in English and Spanish, and this text is already defined by the law. For example, if you want to exclude non-licensed holders or people carrying under constitutional carry, the sign needs to read exactly like this one. Pursuant to section 30.05 Penal Code, criminal trespass, a person may not enter this property with a firearm. Stay tuned till the end, because the signs that I will be presenting on this video have the exact text as the law requires to be effective. Just pause the video as you need to get familiarized with the signs. Number 2, your sign must appear in contrasting colors with block letters, at least 1 inch in height, such as this one or this one. Number 3, the sign must be displayed in a conspicuous manner, clearly visible to the public at each entrance of your property. So your signs will need to be right at each entrance of your establishment. It needs to be so obvious that there's no doubt any person going into your establishment can see and read your sign. It has to be visible and it has to be readable. Now that we have gone over the requirements of the signs, let's look at those that only apply to those carrying under permitless carry law, or aka constitutional carry. Any gun buster sign like this one will only apply to non-licensees. Any person with a license to carry will walk right through this sign and will carry into that business, whether concealed or open carry. Only the owner of the business or person acting as a manager can tell that person to leave the property with a verbal command, and the gun owner would have to leave, or he or she would expose themselves to a trespassing charge. So please note, if you don't want anyone carrying into your business with a open carry or a concealed carry handgun, you need to update your signs, or you will have to be telling people every time to leave your business. That only applies if the person is licensed to carry, as the sign that you're posting is incorrect. Next is the 30.05 sign. This is the new sign added specifically under the Permitless Carry Act for those carrying under the Permitless Carry Law. It only applies to those with no license to carry, whether open or concealed. Once again, if you post this sign on your establishment, it only applies to those with no license. This sign means nothing to those with a license to carry and does not apply to a person that has a license to carry. Any person with a license to carry that sees this sign will just go through that sign and will carry into your establishment. Moving on. Now, these are the signs that specifically apply to license holder only. Same principle applies. If you as a business owner only post the signs that follow, then you will only be making your policy effective to license to carry holders only. Anyone carrying under constitutional carry will be able to lawfully carry into your establishment. You are going to notice that these signs are very specific, and it mentioned that it only applies to licensed carry holders. So the first sign is the 30.06 sign. This sign only applies to license holders carrying a concealed carry handgun. The next sign is the 30.07 sign. Applies to license holders openly carrying a handgun. Last but not least, we will touch base on the signs that apply to both, whether you have a license or not. So give me a few minutes. We're almost done here. Number one, the 51% sign. Any establishment that sells alcoholic beverage and makes 51% or more of their profits in alcohol sales must display a 51% sign to give notice to all persons that the place is prohibited for firearms. Typically, bars and nightclubs meet this criteria. So, if the establishment does not post effective notice, then only the license to carry holder will be granted relief under Texas Penal Code 46.15, subsection P. For the non-licensed holder, it is still a prohibited place. 46.03 sign. Now, this is a new sign that was introduced under the Permitless Carry Law. This is the prohibited place sign. So prohibited places already established by Texas law can post this sign to keep all persons carrying a firearm, whether licensed or not, out of this location. Must be posted at each entrance, and the other rules apply. It must be posted in a conspicuous place. It must comply with the contrast and the 1-inch lettering requirement. What are those prohibited places? Here we go. Schools, polling places, courts, racetracks, like horse or dog racing racetracks, and pretty much anywhere that there's betting, that they're doing betting. Secured areas of an airport, within 1,000 feet of an execution place on the day a death sentence is to be imposed. Bars, professional sporting events, correctional facilities, civil commitment facilities, hospitals. Now for this one, for hospitals, license holders are only prohibited if effective 30.06 and 30.07 notice is posted. Nursing homes, mental hospitals, amusement parks, a room or rooms of an open meeting of a government entity. Now, this is no longer prohibited for licensed carry holders. Non-licensed holders are still prohibited from this place. In conclusion, that's pretty much what you need to know about firearm signs. So look at yourself, see where you are regarding your daily carry, and learn what applies to you, depending if you are a license or not. If you are a business owner, then know the law and what is required, just as gun owners are required to do so. I've seen many places, I've gone to many places that have incorrect or incomplete policies posted, and when I approach the managers and ask clarification about their signs and their policy, it is evident that they are completely ignorant on how to apply their gun policy. Some of them don't even know that the signs change, that there are new signs, and they might have old signs that are not applicable anymore. I also highly recommend that you approach your local law enforcement personnel and ask them if they understand the current gun signage laws and how they enforce it when or if they get calls for a person with a handgun on private property. You want to always be prepared and educated and be the smartest person in the room when it comes to firearm policies and how they apply to you at all times and all places that you go. That's the purpose of this video, make you the smartest person in the room. So on my next video, I will be expanding on the advantages of having a license to carry versus not having one. And this only applies in Texas, obviously. So, and other places that you can carry with a license that you cannot carry without it. So thanks for the patience, thanks for watching the video, and remember to support the channel by subscribing. See you on the next one.